I came across a story and I just felt I should talk about it. Actually, the story is about verbal abuse. But before I talk about the story, the rate at which people used to talk to others rudely, like the way they used to verbally abuse others, is really alarming lately, sincerely. And people who verbally abuse others, they do so more often to gain control, express their frustration, or to cover their insecurities. Most of them, as they always say, hurt people tend to hurt other people. That is just the scenario here. Because yes, they might be going through some stuffs and they might be frustrated. So they try to talk to people others the way they want in order to try to cover up their own pains and hurts like that. And they don't know that as they are doing it like that, they are now hurting others in the process. And talking about the abuse can be, verbal abuse can be an insult, it can be humiliation or manipulation, whichever way. When someone does that, it goes a long way in breaking down the victim. And this action can have serious emotional and psychological effects on the victim, sincerely. Those that are always abused like that, they don't always find it funny. And some people engage in verbal abuse knowingly, while others may just realize the harm they are causing due to their upbringing. So probably they were not raised well, and they tend to just talk to others the way they just want and all of those stuffs. And then some try to do that to release their stress or their personal unresolved issues. Whichever way, verbal abuse is never justified. It is not justified. It is not an excuse for anything. Like, you should not talk down on someone else because of your own upbringing, abi because you are stressed out, though, abi because you are going through stuffs, or abi because you are trying to hide your own insecurity, trying to just feel among or stuff like that. Then you now be belittling some other people. It doesn't make sense. Okay, this is the story I want to talk about. Let's say Amara is a very good architecture. Actually, she works in a company, and then she's very good. She has very great designs and innovations and all of those things. But then there's this person, let's say Mr. Ade. Mr. Ade has this habit of mocking her, of talking down on her whenever he has the opportunity to do that. Mr. Ade is a well-respected person in the industry, but he had the habit of belittling his employees. He never raised his hands, to hit any of them. But his words always cut really deep down. So Amara submitted the work to him. She submitted a work for him to approve. And then Mr. Ade, what will he tell her? He just shouted to say now, what kind of amateur work is this? He threw the blueprint at her, and he now went further to say, did you even go to an architecture school, or did you just Google yourself down here? Can you imagine? And come to think of it, Amara is one of the best worker they have there. But that is his habit towards her. That is just how he used to talk to her. He doesn't rate any of her innovations or any of her designs at all. He doesn't rate her at all. So what happened is that Amara couldn't take it. She couldn't take it anymore, since it was not the first time. Over the years, he always do that. And then Amara decided to go and approach him because she said she can't take it anymore, because if she lets it be like that, that is how it will continue. So Amara decided to go confront him. So she approached him and said, "Okay, oh sir, please, I need to talk to you." He didn't even give her a listening ear. He just said, "What is it?" Without giving her the attention, you understand. And then Amara said, "I respect your work, but the way you speak with me is very unprofessional. It's very unprofessional." Because yes, as a professional, for you to have gotten that position, you should know that yes, as a professional, there are some ethics that you should do. There are some ways you should behave. There are some ways you need to treat your workers. So she now told him that it's very unprofessional. "You can criticize my work, but I will no longer tolerate being manipulated. I will no longer tolerate being humiliated by you." And he was Mr. Ade was surprised, like, what the who gave you that? How did you get that nerve to approach me with that kind of talk, you understand? And yes, he was not really ready to listen to her, because yes, he would have still talked back at her, but she went further to tell him that, "Okay, oh, if this should continue, I'll be left with no choice than to report you to the HR." And that was when he kept quiet. That was when, okay, him body come back to him body, you understand? So he was like, that was the last time he could ever talk to her the way he always does. That was the last time he ever belittled her and stuff like that. So I say this to say that the way people used to just belittle others, and yes, most of them misunderstood. Most of them, they always do that in order to feel good. Since 90%, 99% of them, they don't just do that just by like, just it's just a mistake. They planned it. They have it in mind. And because yes, you're hot, because you're stressed out, because your mama no bring you up well, be stuff like that, then you now go around be misbehaving with people, be talking to people the way you want, because you're trying to hide your insecurities. It does not, those things are not done like that. Those people need help. They need help, else there will be more people, more depressed people will be created in the society, more mentally unstable people, because yes, as they are doing that, they are affecting others psychologically, they are affecting them mentally. And if those ones that are doing that actions are not called to order, there will